Hello, 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 everyone. Give me just a moment. Beautiful. Okay. How is everyone this afternoon? What are we up to? What are we planning on getting done? Let me know. Let's see. There we go. That's what I want. That's not what I want. That's what I want. Okay. There we go. Hi, hello, how is everyone? What are we up to today? Hello, Cece, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Why did you just do 2 of that? Excuse me, hold on, let me argue. I need to argue with my computer for a hot minute. For reasons, I don't know why, we were on caps lock. Weird. What do I want to say on Threads to let people know that I'm sprinting? I think just live now works. That's what I'm gonna do. It's Threads. I don't need to. All right. Okay. Hold up. You know what I should do? A smart girl would put a topic on this. So we're going to do the thing that a smart girl would do. Okay. Welcome. Thank you. Let me adjust this angle now that the window is closed a little bit. One of these days, we're going to get the bookshelves moved this way, and I will be able to sprint from like that corner over there where the windows can be open. You'll have no idea how dark I have to keep this room because I have to close like 3/4 of my windows to not have like massive what's the word? There's a word, guys. They just glare all over the walls. Which you'll probably see me get up once or twice during the session when I come back from sprints because I always forget. I'll open the window so I can see, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot to close this before the timer went off. Anyways, hello, welcome. What are we up to today? How are we doing? Reset current segment. I am currently, well, first off, I'm gonna go wash my hair. I put a treatment in to let it kind of sit because I'm hoping to film later today, this evening. So I figured I'd wash my hair today, and I'm getting it redone soon. So I'm like, I should probably make sure that we're staying on top of the stuff that we do to keep it healthy. Hello, Naomi. How are you? I'm working on a paper for grad school. My goal by the end of the day is to finish 1 of 6 sections and get a good start on the 2nd section. I love it. Love it. Hi, Lola Roo. How are you today? Good to see you. Not sure what I'm going to read as I'm in the middle of 3 books, but none seem interesting. Oh, God. That's the hardest thing. Like, the nice thing about, like, I'm struggling a little bit right now because like my natural inclination this last year or so hasn't been to like pick up a book when I have time to read. It's like, oh, I have these shows I want to watch or this podcast I want to listen to, blah blah blah. But I have been lucky in the last couple of months where while I'm not wanting to like read, once I pick up the book that I'm reading, can't put it down. What are you working on, Cece? What books are you reading? Let's see, cleaning for dinner and trying to finish a couple of books with A Vengeance by Riley Sager and book 5, final book in the Mindfuck series. Very nice, very nice. I have 2 books that I want to work on during sprints today. One of them is my buddy read that I am very far behind in, and I'm very glad that Brittany does not go on social media that much during the weekends because I'm outing myself, but I'm working on The Will of the Many. I'm like right here. We just started part 2. Right? And so I am just trying to get caught up to where she currently is, I think. I'm leaving her lots of voice notes of stuff that she already knows the answer to. But I'm like, here are my thoughts. this is what I'm thinking about this in this moment. And then the other book I want to read is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. I want to have this book done by the weekend. That is not where I am in this book. That's chapter 3. I'm so far beyond that. Hold on. Give me a moment, everyone. Let us. Where am I in this book? I feel like I'm on page like 58. That's Messenger. Why am I trying to open Messenger? That doesn't even look anywhere near. I need to know if anyone else does this, by the way. Does anyone else go in to open their calculator app or their calendar app and somehow manage to click the other one? All right, that's the wrong book. I don't know what it is about me, but I will go in to like use my calculator and I'll click the calendar instead, even though they look very different, in my opinion. I'm on page 89. I'm doing better than I thought. Okay, so page 89. This one, I had the audiobook for this one, and I stopped listening to the audiobook for this one because it was not working for me. My reading experience has drastically improved since I put that up. Part of that is because Danielle L. Jensen, I think she's trying to kind of create a lexicon or create a mood with the language. And so that means she's using the word arse a lot. And for some reason, at least the way this narrator is doing it, it feels so forced, right? Like I love people using that word on a normal, like a regular basis. But like it feels so forced in this narrative. So I was like, okay, we're gonna stop because it's standing out every time and yanking me out of the book. So we'll see how it goes. It's very interesting what we're working with. And I know she's written some very popular YA series, but it's a little bit obvious to me that like I believe this is her first adult book, and it's very obvious to me that it is. Let's see. Ooh, we had more people join us. Hello, hold on. Give me a moment. Let me get to the top. Hi, Ren. Welcome. How are you today? Thank you for hanging out with us. Finishing off my week with Him by Joya Goffney and getting through my pages for Priory of the Orange Tree. Very nice. Hey, Glinda. Long time no see. How are you? How have you been? I am thinking of reading Will of the Many this summer, which would be a task for me since I avoid large books. Do you like it? So, I don't know yet because this, how do I explain this? This is a very political fantasy, which I love. And it appears that James Islington is going to be talking a lot about imperialism and structures of power through this novel. Like this is very much, it's based on the Roman Empire, which is something that I, as a kid, was very into, like Roman and Greek mythology. They kind of go together, and I had a big Greek mythology phase. This is a surprise to no one who knows that my favorite series in the world is the Percy Jackson series. But it's a lot of it is going to do, like, he hasn't fallen into any of the pitfalls yet that I see authors that talk about this that made me go, I know what your politics are. Or similar things like that, because I do think that quite often when white authors want to talk about imperialism, they want to talk about structures of power, there are certain questions that go unasked. And right now we're very much still setting it up and setting up the world and setting up what Viz is dealing with. So a lot of how much I enjoy it is going to deal with how well I feel he handles that and how well I feel he handles the female characters. Because at this point, we've been very isolated. So we've only had a couple of female characters to like interact with. But I am loving the world building. I am loving the political intrigue of this. There is a lot that's going on here. I am like, it's funny. I think people who've seen my short on this think I don't like Viz or I don't understand where he's coming from. But I very much do understand where he's coming from, and I also very much do understand that he inherently has attitudes that would make him the worst dude in the office if they go unchecked. Does that make sense? So hold on, my nose itches. Okay. So like I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time reading it. I think that like there are a lot of things like in this political intrigue, there's a certain plot point that I'm like, it's way too early for this to be what is actually going on. I think there's something deeper going on here. I could be wrong about that because it wouldn't be the first time that like we've been like, hey, this is the bad dude, and it ended up that's still the bad dude. but I'm getting low-key feelings that it's not. So I am enjoying it. I'm having a good time with it. I am skeptical of how certain things are being handled in the narrative, but they're not so like it's more a will we continue to handle this well? Does that make sense? Am I explaining myself well? The three books are Angels Before Man by Raphael Nicholas, Widdershins by Jordan L. Hawke, and Madison Square Murders by C.S. Poe. Let me okay. I have never heard of any of these books. Is it like, it sounds like you're not really into them. Is it a situation like, or any of them like, maybe this just isn't the right time and you might be interested later? It might maybe like soft DNF one of those and like read something that you know you'll enjoy. Kind of like juxtapose one of the other books with that. Going to finish e-reading the Masala Chai Mystery Club by MJ Soni. I swear to God I can read. I'm at 74%. Very nice. Here's the thing. Normally I do too. But the way it's being used, I'm like, you feel like a toddler that has just gotten a hold of a new word that's slightly dirty. And so now you're saying it because it makes the adults laugh. Like, that's what I feel like. Thank you, CC Cloud. I feel so seen by this. I just started reading Percy Jackson for the first time this year. I need to read the last two books, though. You are in. I'm not even kidding. I read an entire series because I saw an illustration from a single scene in Battle of the Labyrinth, which is book 4. So you're about to get to that one. Really enjoyed the books I read so far. I wish I'd read them when I was younger. Those books would have blown my 12-year-old mind. I'm very glad that I read them at the time that I did because, like, I don't read nearly as much middle grade now just because I feel that I gravitate. It's not that I don't like them. It's just that I feel like what I gravitate towards tends to be more in the adult sphere. I read a lot more adult now than I feel like I read YA. Could be wrong about that. I haven't actually looked at the statistics. But I read these my last semester of college. And I ate the series up. I got the first 3 books and I was like, I don't need books 4 or 5. I'm sure it will take me time. It'll take me time to get through these books. No, that's not how that went. It was book 4 that I was like, I don't need book 5. And I'm sure it will take me time to get through this book. And then I got through it in like a day. But these books, number one, were very, very influential in me. Like, I guess I feel like I read them at the right time because I was someone who sought out literature classes in college. I loved taking literature classes, but something that I think I hadn't realized until I read these books is that reading had become like reading was less fun because of what I was reading to some extent. Like I took a lot of Victorian lit classes, which meant I was reading books that I loved. For reasons, Victorian lit and Regency lit tend to go. So like I was reading Jane Austen. That's where I first read Persuasion. Absolutely adore that book. I was reading things like, I didn't read North and South, but I read Ruth by Elizabeth Gaskell, which was very, very good. Not the happiest book. But I was also reading books that I absolutely hated, like Jude the Obscure by Thomas Hardy. Wuthering Heights. I bought a like junk copy of that book just so I could set it on fire. I was so mad. Mill on the Floss, things like that I was just like, this book is such like I don't like I wasn't having fun reading those books, and so reading had become a lot like kind of a chore. And then I picked up the Percy Jackson series my final semester of college and was like, oh, that's right. I enjoy reading. Reading is fun. And then it's very funny to be like, I really to look back 16 years ago and be like, you know, the fact that I identified so heavily with some of these characters should have been a sign that what's going on up here is not entirely neurotypical. So okay. Oh, you're very welcome. It would not. Yeah. It's a big, thick, like I feel like for fantasy, if you are willing to have the patience for thick books, they can work for you. But it helps to know like what kind of fantasy it is going into it, because I have friends that absolutely do not like political fantasy, and so I'm like, hey, you don't want to read that, or just so you know, this is that. But they might enjoy something that's like more of an adventure fantasy, or there is a journey involved. Like what is it? Like as thick and scary as it is, Way of Kings is actually a really good chunky book for people who are wanting to get into the chunkier fantasy, because the way that Brandon writes is so accessible. Do I recommend starting with that? No. No, I don't. Yet I cannot recommend starting with Mistborn entirely either, because if you are new to fantasy, that repetitive nature of those first couple of books will make you tear your hair out. So, um, if you're looking, if you're looking to read thicker fantasy books, I definitely can come up with some recommendations, I think, for you. But if you don't like political fantasy, I definitely would not read this one. But this is something that inherently fascinates me, like political intrigue and power structures, so much that like I seek it out in nonfiction as well. So yeah, it is a little bit my jam. But okay, let's see. So we've been talking for a hot minute. I'm going to, because I do want us to kind of, I think Neva has sprints tonight. I haven't looked to see if she scheduled them yet. I would like to, if Neva's doing sprints, go into her sprints tonight around 7 o'clock. So I'm going to try and stay focused. We will see how long that lasts. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying all three books so far, but I think they're a bit too similar. I think I'm going to pause. Yeah, that's amazing. You maybe pick up. Yes, that's like, yeah, if you're struggling, it's all with the specific book. It's always good to like switch stuff up. I definitely have done that in the past where like I'll know that I'm working on a slower paced book, so I'll grab something that goes real fast as well. So okay, I'm gonna pull up, and I should have done this before. I can actually, there we go. I can do this, and then we can share our screen. Boom. There it is. Ta-da. One of these days, I will actually get my ass in gear and like make a nice background and all of that, but we're doing good for me to even do sprints today. Like I want to be here. I want to be here. However, the focus has not been here all week. We are going to go in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. How did that sprint go? Ooh, let me get rid of the ticker. Listen, you take like a few months off from sprints and then you forget completely how they work. Oh, are you dead? Are you dead? Apparently I needed to charge these lights before we did this. Anyways, hello. What the fuck is happening right now? Oh, the sun is on the other side. Okay, let's see. Can we angle this? Y'all are going to get a picture of that. I don't care. Just get rid of some of that glare in that corner. Okay, hold on. I had a thought process. Let me go up to where we stopped because we had a few more people join us. How did we all do, first of all? I spent entirely too long looking for my earbuds. Do you want to know where they were? I put my book on top of them. Anyways, like they were on my bed in my blankets and like just right underneath my book. If I had picked my book up, I would have seen them. Let me see. I did not read a lot. Ooh. Let me So I read an entire 2 pages that time. I also got a little distracted, if we're fully honest. Completely. So, but yeah. We are doing whale. Okay, so hello, Christy joined us. I'm reading Hollow by the Twisted Sister, 72% in, and I need to finish it today before Cloud Library steals it from my account. What a mood. What a distinct mood. I understand that. I probably need to check. I'm going to do this now because if I don't remember to do this now, I will forget. That's the wrong application, Margaret. Hold on. I need to check and see how much longer I have Amina El-Sarafi for. Error. I need to renew that. Uh-oh. Okay. I have 5 days to read it. It's fine. That's fine. Want to renew that? I can read that book in 5 days, right, guys? I think I'm gonna return. Hold on. Now I'm looking at books and like I think I'm gonna return this. And I don't want to return. Okay, I think I can return this one, and I'll just request it again to give myself a little more time. Okay, we're good. That's fine. Everything's fine. Hello, Christy. And then we had a Ben join us. Hello. First and probably only Saturday this year. I'm not working. Probably gonna catch up on journaling prompts and sort through my potential April TBR. I need to do that because I have to film that before I'm going to visit my brother on Wednesday. So I need to film that before I leave. Hello, Brenna. Welcome. Just got back from a volunteering event at my school. I'm going to be reading the unselected journals of Emma M. Lyon, Volume 2. Very nice. Hey there, Alicia. How are you? Just joining. We'll be doing some laundry and reading Storm at Castle by Jolie Vines. Love it. Excuse me. We got a lot of hellos. All right, so Ren made it to 76%. Christy made it to 81. Not bad. You guys are getting so close. Yep, there it goes. Okay, this needs to be charged. I will remember that it needs to be charged because it's all the way over there. Naomi says, this sprint, I got pretty close to finishing the first section of my paper, vacuumed my living room, and started the dishes. That is quite a bit of productivity in a single hour. So good for you. That's amazing. I love it. Alicia says, folded the laundry, helped hubby for a minute, and then promptly tripped and fell going back inside because Sliver got caught in the storm dorm. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I also have absolutely done this. I feel your pain. Oh, time for cheesecake. At least you have cheesecake. That is the important part, right? 5 days. It's fine. You're fine. Truly, everything is fine. I wonder if I could renew it. You know, that's probably a thing that I should look at. Will it let me renew? Oh, it won't let me renew yet. Well, that's rude. Incredibly. Also, wait a minute. Are these set at 14 days instead of 21. Betrayal. Libby has betrayed me. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Made it to 28%. Very nice, Brenna. Hey, Brie, how are you? Welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. Ashley says, I finished The Honey Witch and took the dog for a short walk. Not sure what book I am going to pick up next. Ashley, if you need help figuring out what book to read next, please let me know. I am more than happy to make, even if I haven't read it, snap judgments based on the vibes I get from the title of a book. Hey there, how are you today? Welcome, welcome. Just here to lurk for a bit while I'm making dinner. We love a lurker. I am a lurker, so lurkers unite. That should be a t-shirt, Lurkers Unite. Some of my libraries on Libby are 14 days and others are 21. So I think I get most of my stuff from my local library. And so that might be on me, to be fully honest, because they give you the option between, I think, 17 and 21 at this point. So there's that. I apparently have failed, if that's the case. So, okay. Let's hide that. All right. I think so. Next, I was supposed to get a shower this sprint and wash the hair and all of that. And I got distracted looking for earbuds and then pulling up threads because, oh my God, it's so frustrating because, like, they posted on threads about an author that most people on here. Yes, exactly. Please don't perceive me. Oh, I love that. I love that. I need to make that I'm gonna design that as a graphic if I ever get my shit together. So those that are here, I have no problem talking about this on my YouTube because I just don't like typing out her name on threads because people make it a bunch of stuff. But I made a vague post about an author that I don't like, or that, not gonna say that I have complicated feelings about. I feel like she's probably a perfectly fine person, but she also wrote one of my least favorite books of all time. Just because I don't like how she handled certain elements in that. And I was talking about, hey, like, I don't talk there, like, sometimes, like, I was talking about the behavior of this author's fans that I have encountered. And people are like, oh my God, well, tell us who the author is. And I'm like, the point is not the author. The author is not the person that did something wrong. I entirely am talking about the fans in this, like the behavior of the fans that drives me nuts. So if you guys have been here long enough, you guys know that I have very complicated feelings about Robin Hobb as a writer. I've loved some of her books, and I absolutely have hated some of her books. And so it's a very, okay, I am looking at myself because this metal plate keeps reflecting me. I'm going to put this here because it's weird to just look over and there's an eye. Anyways, I have very complicated feelings about her, and I have not decided whether or not she is someone I'm going to continue on with the series because I have to finish Assassin's Quest first, which I'm liking for like 75% of the book, but then there's a 25% of this plot that I'm like, I don't like where I think this is going. I hate it. So, anyways, I am going to reset. We're going to skip the rest of this break. So, anyways, but yeah, it was very funny though. One of my friends just like sent me the eyeball emoji because she knows that I will text her and be like, it's this author. So, and like I said, the feelings are complicated. I don't know how I stand on her in general, but I do know how I stand on some of the people that I've interacted with. Here we are. We will go in. All of that to say, I was dealing with that. That's part of what I was dealing with and why I didn't read as much as I would have liked. That was why we went on that tangent. I'm sorry. I should probably like get to the point of the tangents. We're gonna read now. So going in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, give me just a second, y'all. How did everyone, while I am making the computer do the math for me, how did everyone else do? Okay, sorry, it sounded like my audiobook was playing, and I was like, you should not be playing right now, but you're paused. Okay, so, boom. We got to page 243 in Will of the Mini. I'm almost halfway, which means I read 16 pages that time. I did not read the entire hour just because I was in the shower, obviously, and I wanted to actually be able to hear the audiobook. So what is my hair doing over here? I'm sorry. I apologize. Anyways, I wanted to listen to something that I didn't care as much about following the details, because this is a fairly complex world, and I want to be able to like have thoughtful commentary on it. Does that make sense? Especially given what this book is about. So we did have we did have another Bree join us, which, so this is funny. More lurkers. I love this. I know so many people that like have common names, or I don't know, maybe not common names, but like names that you hear more often out and about. And like, I do not experience that often, but it is a really weird experience when I do. And I'm like, is this how people feel normally? So we also had Cherie join us, made some lemon drop martinis. Sounds like you're having a party. And listen to Long Time Gone by Charlie Dunlea. Let's see. And we had Tennille join us. Welcome, Tennille. How are you? Thank you for coming. Ren finished my book, gave it 4 stars. Okay, that's good. We like 4-star books. I mean, I assume we like 4-star books. I don't know your rating system, but like that typically means you had at least a good time with it. Christy got to 92%. I am sewing in ends on an Afghan. Black on black, bad choice on my part, hard to see. Yeah, this was a mistake that I made when I was first learning how to crochet, because oh, it's gone. It's not in here anymore. I was going to point to my blanket, but the first project that I started was like this really dark purple yarn. And that was so much harder to see. And I didn't realize it until like, because I moved on to another yarn in the pattern that was much lighter. And I was like, well, why didn't I do this? And then I found out later that it's like, yeah, when you're crocheting or knitting, it's better to start with a nice bright color so you can see things better, because like the deeper colors tend to suck up the light, and so it's hard to see individual strands. And I, despite the fact that I've been doing this for a little bit of time now, still hate it. I still curse at my work when I'm working with anything that's one of those deeper colors. What am I working on right now? Oh, I'm working on one that's like, it's a variegated yarn, so like it goes through the whole gamut, but it's got like a really, really dark blue, a darker green, and a purple. And I'm just like, can we get back to the part where you're yellow? So reading Winds of Fate, and might switch to Network Effect soon. Ooh, exciting. I haven't gotten to Network Effect just yet. I think that might be one for next month. 72% done for Brenna. 72. I have about 40 minutes left on 2 times speed. I know I can read, but I am very bad at it. I am. Hold on, I will open for you. I am this far, right here. I'm enjoying it. I'm like, this is one, I think we were talking about this earlier. I'm very intrigued to see how he handles the themes of this book, especially when it comes to how he's talking about power, because we've definitely already had someone who basically was like, yeah, you just got to bootstrap your way up from the bottom, and I did it, so you can do it. And I was just like, I assume this is going to be a plot point. And it's one of those things that is, I like very clearly right now, Viz is not falling one way or the other with the different things that we've heard talked about. I will be interested to see what his journey looks like and how he ends up interacting with power, because right now it feels like I like where he's going, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay that way, because I don't trust men. I just don't trust. That's a lie. I don't trust male authors. Okay, like they can be you can be going along and being like, hey, this is going to be great, and then you're like, what the fuck, my dude. I worked on my reading journal. Okay, had a brownie, and then read 4 chapters of Storm the Cat. Why does this book sound familiar? Give me a second. Let's pull this up. Let me get my phone out of the way, number one. Actually, hold on. Let me take a look. I probably should be charging this. Yeah, give me just a second, guys. Okay. All right, so Storm the Castle. Why does that sound familiar? Is it gonna let me? I cannot. You know what? I'm already looking it up. Don't worry. Well, there's a board game, a pop-up board game book. Okay, interesting. There is it good? Are we enjoying it? I think it's only happened twice in my life where I heard my name and it wasn't directed at me. Yeah, no, it's very funny. One of my favorite podcasts, one of the regular people that is, well, actually, they're also on another, like it's a whole podcast network. Her name's Margaret Killjoy, and she is regularly on the Behind the Bastards podcast. And it will be so funny because like he'll just like if they like he'll start a sentence with Margaret, I'm like, why are you? Oh, you're not talking to me. Even like and I am actively listening to it. It's hilarious. Once when my parents were watching Seinfeld and Jordan yelled out the captain into Neil. This is a fluorescent color changer with black between to make it less loud. I see. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm dealing with, only it's like navy. So I put it down after part 1 because I had a death in my family. I haven't been able to take it up since, but I really want to. So I love hearing other people's thoughts about it. Yeah, it's good. I've just finished part 1 or I'm into part 2 at this point. Writing wise, it is good. How I will feel about it later, I don't know. Same here. Jolie Vine, Storm the Castle. There we go. All right. Yeah, and part of it is because I am willing to give, specifically white male authors, but I am willing to give women and BIPOC and queer authors more leeway when it comes to exploring. Like I trust them more to at the end of the story have addressed or handled things well. Doesn't always turn out. Again, I have beef with Robin Hobb over Ship of Magic, but I tend to be able to give them the benefit of the doubt for longer, if that makes sense. Still here looking and making dinner. I'm slicing up this watermelon, and my dog, I think it tastes a bit weird. Oh, I mean, it sounds like that's the dog's watermelon now. If it's not feeling like it tastes right for you, see how the dog feels for a hot minute. But anyways, okay. Yes. I that's so funny. Dogs will like, it's so funny how dogs will like love some vegetables and not like others, and you never know which one it's going to be, right? Like my dog did not fuck with broccoli, but she loved carrots. But I've seen dogs that absolutely adore broccoli. So, okay, we're going to do one final sprint. This one's going to be a bit shorter, I think, just because, again, I want to get y'all over to Neva in a timely manner. If I still have not checked. Here, let me see if, first off, let's check and see if Neva is sprinting. These are things that I could have asked like 3 hours ago. Cozy, nope. Neva's Cozy Corner. Yes, okay, so she's got sprints later this afternoon. I will get that set up so that, no, later this afternoon, later at 7 o'clock. It's a lot of spoilers. If I can find, what year did I read Ship of Magic? we're doing important things. Primarily my issue with Robin Hobb is that, like, she, at least in Ship of Magic, did things with that plot for shock value that if a male author had done, we would be lambasting him. Like, it irks me that was not only just kind of thrown in there when it didn't need to be thrown in there, but it was also like it's so many of my problems. It's all about Althea's storyline. I'll say that. Like, so much of how Althea's storyline ends, what she goes through at the very end of the book, the fact that what we've been working towards for 3 books is just like 3/4 of the way through abandoned, in my opinion. Like, it's one of those things that you could have gotten me there. You could have gotten me there, right? You could have gotten me to where I accepted that what the promise of the premise that we were given in book 1 was not where we were going to be. But it felt like she did not think about the fact that she created this conflict in the resolution of that specific plot point until about 3/4 of the way through. So yeah, no, I mean, there is a rant, like what was it? It was, hold on, it was in my worst books of one year. Like, it was the worst book I read that year. Let me see when I read it. Nope, not Ship of Magic. Ship of Destiny. I have been saying the wrong one the entire time. I liked Ship of Magic. I liked Ship of whatever the heck the second one was. When did I read this? 2022. So my worst books of 2022, and I can look this up if you would like me to, and give you a link. My worst books of 2022. I go into why I did not like Ship of Destiny. 2022. Most disappointing books of 2022. Yes. Okay, yeah, it is this one, I think. Yeah, because I read it in 2022, so it has to have been worst books of 2022. But yeah, like, the entirety of Althea's storyline and the way that it ends in book 3 is why I don't like Robin Hobb. Oh man. Plus the fact that the dude in question ends up a hero. I'm like, I understand we're being realistic about this. And I did like, there was one specific aspect of that when it came to people believing her without her having to explain it. The people that were close to her believing her, I appreciated that. But I still was so pissed that he ended up a hero. Hey, Anne, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I don't say that enough, by the way, guys. Thank you for hanging out here. I need to say that more often. But I get so caught up in, like, I need to say hello to everyone. So I'm trying to get better about that, guys. Anyways, if you want, like, my full thoughts and everything that I had a problem with on that one, Sweet Pickins, check that video out. So, and it's unfortunate because it definitely put a damper on my reading of the Farseer trilogy, which I was really, really liking. And then, hold on, Teniel had, I didn't get far in Robin Hobb. My issue was the misery. After 50 pages, I could feel it tanking my mood, so I let it go. Yeah, it is. Did you start with Farseer or did you start with live ships? Clearly, I don't like live ships, but I do feel that is a that is a definite critique of some of her books. I think, I don't know that I would call it grimdark, but people call it grimdark, so that kind of makes sense. You've got to be in the right mood and you have to enjoy that vibe, if that makes sense. And definitely with Fitz, that boy goes through it. I love him. He is very stupid, but I love him, and he goes through it. And I would love to see how his story ends, because I do think that there's a ship there that I ship, and that I need to finish this series so that I can get to where the ship that I ship is shipping. We'll see. I did just so pissed, so pissed. And then on top of that, where she ends up, it's like, yeah, women. Yes, that is a very hard one. There's a couple of animal deaths in that one that are very, very hard for people to get past, and I 100% get that because I know that's a big trigger for people. Um, listen, listen. I'm so mad. Normally I'm like, yes, I want everyone to get married and be happy. I'm so mad she got married. Anyways, we shall go into our final sprint. Give me a second to set this to a more let's see. I think this will make this a 35-minute. No, hold on. We'll make this 40 minutes. That's what we'll do. That'll be enough time for me to like get some reading done. I think I'm gonna try and work on Fate Inked in Blood this time. Because I can listen to what is Will of the Many. Why am I blanking on these? What is happening right now? Why are you being weird? Okay, I'm so confused. Okay, that's better. Will of the Many while I am on my walk later. So let's go ahead. Let's swap back to here. And where is the tab? There's the tab. Okay, we will go in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hello, welcome back. How did that sprint go? Apparently, Jesus is coming over here on the right hand of the screen. I understand now. I mean, I always understood, but really, like, nothing makes stage left and having stage left and house left and stage right and house right make more sense than having to do videos. Oh man, I've never been so confused about what my left and right was. Not even when I was in the theater. Okay, give me a moment. I'm going to see how much. I didn't read a lot because we did pause to see if we could dry the hair a little more. Because I'd like to put it up for my walk. But if I put it up wet, you guys know what's going to happen. It's going to end up with like this big dip, this kink in it. And I'm just like, I don't want to have just to have this like one single whoop. So, okay. Ba-ba. All right, we have gotten a little bit further in this book. It's a book. It's okay. It's not, I'm having fun with some of it, having less fun with other parts of it. It is what it is. So I don't have much more to say about it than currently. How did everyone else do? What did y'all get up to this time? Tennille says all the ends are sewn in the Afghanistan. Yay! Good for you. That's so much fun. I love it. Made it further in Winds of Fate. Wow, you've got made your way. Hold on. Just realized what book Winds of Fate is, I think. No, maybe it's not what I think it is. It's Mercedes. Oh, it's Mercedes Lackey. I need to read some Mercedes Lackey, to be fully honest. I'm pretty sure my mom read this at one point. She probably picked it up because it has a horse on the cover. I don't recognize this one specifically, but I know we had a lot of those books from the library at some point. Just finished Emma M. Lyon Volume 2, 5 stars. We love a 5-star read. Everyone deserves one. What is going on? Why do we do this? Right here. Do you see this, guys? Do you see this? It does this and messes everything up, but then the rest of it is barely anything. Anyways, that sprint continued with my paper a bit, but mostly procrastinated. Mood, Naomi. Oh my god, that is so very much a mood. I love it. And let's see. Alicia says, I read more Storm the Castle, currently at 142 out of 288. Very nice. CC says, I accidentally fell asleep on my couch in the first sprint and only woke up during this one. But I read a few pages of, yo, listen, there have been sprints where I'm like, I can't go anywhere near my bed because if I go near my bed, I will fall asleep and then we'll be at the end of the 3 hours. That is so funny. I'm doing a reread of the Valdemar main storyline. I'm really enjoying it. So progressive, especially for the time. I've heard that about her. I know that some of my moms, she's like, my mom stopped reading her at some point, because she was what we would have called now woke. So also comforting. MCs being good people, very far from grimdark, although there are dark moments. I mean, what fiction? I don't think there's any fiction that doesn't have its dark moments. I think that being able to, it's very hard to have a story where things don't get dark for a minute. I think the level of darkness just kind of depends on the genre and what you're working with, right? The age category that we're aiming it at. So, but like everything, I feel like darkness sometimes is necessary to highlight the good, because you can't have the good people do good things if they're not opposed and so, especially when you're talking about fantasy. Had such a month. I've only had one other 5-star read. I think it was a reread of Gideon the Ninth. Hey, listen, having only once, there are some months I don't even get a single 5-star. Granted, I'm only reading like 6 books a month at this point, if I'm lucky. I think last month 5, guys. I'm not sure. I think it was 5. But like very relatable. So, anyways, this is definitely adult. There are a few books that aren't. 814 with a series is definitely adult. Yeah. I don't think we rate our books here. And I don't think we should, because if we started rating our books here, it would not go well. Because we wouldn't use it as a straightforward rating system. It would be probably used, and the MPAA has gotten better about this, but it would probably be used in a way similar to the MPAA, in which that it would kind of lead to authors having to self-center. Yeah. And so here's the thing, is like what runs into the movie ratings is like you would see, basically what you would see happen here is anything that had any sort of queer content, probably a lot of books by BIPOC authors would end up being moved to a higher age category. So yeah, it'd be a bad idea here. It would not be it would not go as intended. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, you guys are not, I mean, I know, like, I'm not saying, I know Canada has its issues, but you guys are much more level-headed on a lot of that stuff, and it's not the same thing because you don't have the same culture wars going on. So we do not currently have a rating system, and I do not support us adopting one at this time, because Jiminy Christmas, like, it would be lovely if we had people had a better idea of like what ages things were aimed at, but yeah, here they cut out the violence, and on the US stations they keep the violence and remove the sex. Oh my god, that feels like such oh my god, that just feels like so true though. I love, that's a metaphor for something somewhere about our two countries. Like, oh my goodness, that's hilarious. For broadcast TV, that is. Yeah. All right. I mean, I think for the most part, I think like typically, at least our TV shows, or at least before we went to we had streaming, a lot of them were written with that in mind, where like, so sex would be implied, but it would never be shown fully on screen, or typically wouldn't be like there was some creative cinematography and stuff. So, all right, I am going to head out. I'm going to go on my walk, and I am going to send y'all to, hold up, where is it? There we go. I am going to send y'all to Neva's channel. In theory, this should just take you there. But if it does not, here is a little linky link. It's also down in the, why would I say it that way? Here is a link, guys. It's also down below in the description if you would like to like check it out there. I also have the link to my recent videos playlist if you would like to check out what I've been doing lately. I just published my vlog from last weekend for the Gala of Peace, where I read the first 4 Murderbot novellas and also the first book in the Sworn Soldier series. They were all rereads for me, but I did sit down and chat about them. So if you're interested in those series, if you like sci-fi or horror, you might check that out. And hello, Michaela, you're coming in right at the end. It's so good to see you. There will be, by the way, speaking of the end of this month, there will be no sprints because I will be in Baltimore visiting my brother. So we will most likely be, actually, I will probably not be in Baltimore. I will probably be in DC, because I know one of those days we're planning on going up to see the cherry blossoms and kind of like probably wander the museums or something. So, and I appreciate that so much, Michaela. It's good to see you. It feels like it's been forever. I think we've seen each other a lot more on Threads, to be honest, than we've seen each other in comments. But okay, so I am gonna head out. You guys have the link to Neva's stream. This should take you straight to it. If you want to see anything else, like anything more from me, linked down below in the description. And I am so happy that you guys came and hang out with me today. Thank you so much, and have how do I end my videos? Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy nerdy